Hi guys, it's Amberlee. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're not new. I have been watching this show called Haunted, and if you have seen it on Netflix, it's fucking great. If you haven't, go watch it. It's fucking great. It's about all these people, and they kind of, just ordinary people. They just kind of get around and they talk with their family about paranormal shit or just shit that happened that was traumatic that kind of haunts them and sticks with them to this day. And watching this, I kind of had my own little idea to share all of my paranormal experiences. Like, it's gonna be fucking special. You have seen me do videos of paranormal shit as they happen, but I'm gonna tell everything, like what got me to believe in them and all this other stuff. So I won't say I'm a psychic or a medium per se, but I will say that ghosts or demons have some reason or way of showing themselves to me for whatever reason, and I've always been able to pick them up. I will go into a place that's haunted and feel that it's haunted, and then somebody would just kind of tell me, oh, hey, this place is haunted, and I'm just like, yeah, I know. But I didn't tell you. I just know. And I could just feel it. Like, I feel the energy, and it's just, I don't know. But anyway, started about when I was 9. I moved into this apartment, and immediately, like, I just did not feel very okay with moving in at all. Like, I made a comment about the floor because I liked the tile for some reason. I don't know. I've always been interested in interior design, so I was just kind of like, I like the tile, but that was it. When I went into my room, I just felt very, very uneasy. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, I just felt something there. And that night, first night of moving in, it's about 3:30 in the morning. I don't know. I just woke up for no goddamn reason. I just woke up. I was exhausted from the move. I was tired. And something just woke me up. So I'm awake now. And my parents would normally leave the hall light on whenever my brothers and I would be going to bed. And then they would turn it off when we were asleep before they went to bed. So hall light's off. And I could tell that it was late. And I heard, like, you know how, like, when you have socks on and it's carpet and it just makes this sound when you're walking? Like a dragging sound? So yeah, I just heard, like, socks on a freaking carpet, even though we have all tile. The only place that we had carpet, okay, so you walk in and you're greeted with this, like, little square of tile floor, and then the living room is carpet, and the dining room and the kitchen is all tile, and then the hallway is carpet, and then it has another little square thing of tile, and then you walk in and it's carpet, and the rest of the house is full of carpet. So it just sounded like socks were, like, scuffing on a tile floor, like somebody was, like, shuffling instead of walking. I don't know, it's hard to explain. And I felt a little bit put off by it because everybody else is asleep. At the time, I only had one brother and my parents. So it was just me, my brother, and my mom and dad before they got divorced. So everybody else is asleep. So why the hell would I be hearing something like that? I don't know. So I got a little bit freaked out. And whenever whatever was there could sense that I was awake, the shuffling stopped, and I was like, okay, that was weird. So I just kind of rolled over and tried to go back to sleep. It begins again, but this time it's closer to my bed. So now I'm freaked out because, and then I just kind of pulled the blankets over my head because I'm 9, you know. And I heard something that I will never, ever forget. So my head is covered up and I'm like, Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. The angels will watch me through the night. And if I die before I wake, my soul is for them to take, which is very eerie to tell your children. I don't know. But anyway, that's the rhyme that I was taught growing up, so that's what I said. And I heard a voice say, "That's not gonna help you." I fucking bolted from my parents' room and I just jumped on their bed and I was like shaking, I was crying, I was like, there's something in my room. And my parents taught me not to believe in ghosts, that stuff isn't real, it's all in your head, it's just things on movies. So my parents were very toxic Christians, and so are my grandparents, but we're not going to get into that. I don't want my children to know about God. I don't want anybody telling my kids about God because of what I grew up around. But anyway, if they grow up believing in God, cool, I'll stand by them. And if they don't, awesome, because it's a very toxic thing to condition your kids believing that if they don't listen to you, then you're going to go to hell. But I'm rambling now. I'm scared. Sorry. So we lived there for about maybe till I was 14. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 years we were living there. 5 years, every night I would go to bed terrified. And I would always end the night in my parents' bed. I was always getting up and going to school after sleeping in my parents' bed. Even when I was 14. And for the longest time after that, I was so scared to sleep on my own because of what I went through growing up. And so I also, one night, I was about 10 or 11 this time, and I'm getting dressed, and I can hear giggling, like a child giggling, and running down the hall. And at this time, Ben was around 2, 3, he just learned how to run, so he was constantly running around, and giggling. So I thought maybe it was Ben. But then I realized, Ben's in bed. He's asleep. My brother doesn't do that anymore. Like, we're 10, 11, 9. So I was like, what the fuck? So I just kind of shrugged it off, and I was like, okay, I told my grandfather about this a couple of days back, and he told me, just ignore it. If you give it power, if you show it that you're scared, it will continue and it will get worse because they feed off of fear. So just ignore it. And I said, okay, fine. So I just kind of was like, okay, I'm scared, but I'm not going to show that I'm scared. I'm going to pretend like it didn't happen. So I keep getting dressed, and I turn around, and I see this like little girl figure sitting on my carpet floor, crisscross applesauce, kind of looking at me. And I can't see eyes, I just see long dark hair, and that was also shadowed, and like I'm getting goosebumps. Like I have goosebumps right now. Like I'm imagining it right now. Like she just kind of sat there staring at me, and I didn't feel threatened by her. I was just kind of scared of like, oh my god, what is this? So I'm kind of like covering my eyes in the shirt that I was gonna wear to bed, and I just kind of got the nerve, and I lowered it down, and I opened my eyes, and she was gone. And I run into the living room where my mom's watching TV, and I tell her what happened, and I'm hysterical at this point. Like, I'm like, like trying to explain to her what I just saw. And she's just kind of sitting there. She's like, Amberlee, calm down. Amberlee, calm down. Amberlee, calm the fuck down. And I just kept freaking out. And she responds by spanking me. Instead of comforting me, because I was scared, she grabs my arm and she just starts spanking the hell out of me. And now I'm crying because I just got spanked and I got my feelings hurt because I'm trying to explain to her that I'm scared and I'm freaking out, and she spanked me. Like I'm in trouble for like being afraid. So finally she looks at me and she's like, are we calm now? No. what? So I just kind of nodded, and she's like, okay, if I hear about that damn room one more time, I am taking the TV away from you because it is clearly something that you are watching on TV. iCarly and Victorious doesn't portray ghosts, ma'am, but okay. So I just kind of said okay, and I went to my room and I just slept. Okay, so I just went to bed after that. Like, I didn't know how else to respond to that. I knew she didn't want me talking about it, so I didn't want to be in trouble, and Victorious kept me sane at that point in time, so I just didn't want the TV taken from me, so I just kind of acted like it didn't happen, and I just kind of shut up about it. But the only thing that she taught me when she did that was that I can't go to her if I'm scared, which is another reason why I will not be spanking my children. Because I just lived in fear of her. Like, so I eventually couldn't stop telling her about my room because I just wanted to move. Like, I just wanted to do something. And she responded by taking me to therapy. And when the therapist asked me why I was here, I told her I didn't know. And my mom kept telling her that I'm seeing things, I'm hallucinating. And she thinks I have schizophrenia. So they put me on antipsychotic schizophrenic meds. And these meds were not nice to me at all. They made me lose my appetite. And they also made me gain weight like crazy. I had no appetite, but I was still gaining weight and looked like a fat fuck, like, I was a fat fuck. I still am a fat fuck, like, it's fine. So, my hallucinations or whatever, at this point in time, now I don't know what's real and what isn't because of these fucking meds. These meds made me hallucinate all on their own. So, whatever I did see before that was real. And then what they put me on just made me see things that really weren't there. And, like, for example, it was like pulling teeth to get me to take these meds. Because I knew that I didn't fucking need them, but, I'm 10 and my mom is like the boss of me now, so, whatever. So, finally, one morning I took them. And I'm trying to use the bathroom and I see this, like, demonic figure. He had like 3 toes and like really big nails, and it freaked me out. And this demon told me that no matter what I did, I was gonna go to hell. So I finished peeing and I run out and I'm screaming and crying and I'm like, these meds are making me hallucinate, Mom. These meds are doing this to me. And she could see that I wasn't getting better, and she still made me take them because it was expensive. Turns out I was on an access, so they actually weren't. But she kept telling me, these meds are expensive. Can you at least finish the bottle? So, my mom made me take these meds anyway. And one day I started hiding these pills under the bed. I just hid the bottle underneath the bed, and I never took them, and I would just kind of tell her that I took them. Every morning she'd be like, did you take your meds? Yeah, I did, yeah. And one morning my mom gave me a trash bag and said, take up all the trash from your room and put them in this bag and then give it to me and I'll take it out. The first thing I went for was those pills underneath my bed. My pills were underneath the bed and I just kind of reached in there and threw them in the bag, and I went and picked up wrappers and shit, and then I gave her the bag and she threw it out. And then one morning she was like, I can't find your pills. Where the hell are your pills? I don't know, Mom, I don't know. And then like a year later I told her, hey Mom, I threw those pills out. And she got mad at me first, and I was like, but hey, the hallucination stopped. And she's like, oh my God, you're right, I'm sorry. But like, whatever, damage is already done. So but this story does not stop here. Oh no. No. story about this apartment does not stop here. Oh no. Honey, it gets worse. It gets worse. So, I stopped taking the pills, and then everything kind of calmed down for about a week or two, and I'm thinking, maybe I really do have schizophrenia. Maybe I really should get back on the pills, or whatever. And hold up. Okay, sorry. I thought somebody was going downstairs, but turns out they were just using the bathroom. But anyway, so yeah, one night I remember I'm laying there. My dad was home, so I couldn't sleep with my mom. And my dad was the one that kind of pushed my mom into basically making us kids grow the fuck up, So I would tell him about the ghost, I would tell him about the little girl, and he would just kind of roll his eyes and then be like, Amberlee, stop watching TV. Like, that was his reaction to, like, no sleeping in your mom's bed while I'm gone. Like, you need to grow up. Which is understandable, but, I mean, like, he wasn't here. He couldn't see how fucking terrified I was, And so, my dad was home one night, so I couldn't sleep in my mom's bed. And it's around 10 or 11 at night. I have school the next morning, so my bedtime was 9. So I fell asleep for like an hour, and then I woke up. Once again, no explanation as to why I woke up. I just fucking opened my eyes. And my closet door was always wide open, and this is why I cannot sleep with my door open. My closet door has to be closed. My closet door is always shut. So I woke up one night, and there's this extra darkness to my closet. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, normally at night you can still see your clothes in the closet. Even if it's dark, you can still see your clothes, and I could not. My closet was pitch black this particular night, and I just knew something was in there. I just knew. And I'm like staring at it, like terrified. And then I start hearing this like whispering from the closet. And it's like, it's hard to understand. It's just very like I don't know. Stuff that gives me ASMR tingles if my headphones are in. This time it was not tingly at all. This time it was very terrifying. I'm just like, what? These are whispers that I did not ask for. Like, so I'm like, just kind of staring at it, and I hear the voices, like the whispering, and it sounds like multiple people. It doesn't sound like just one person going, it sounds like one or two other people, and they're just like, they're talking to each other. And then I just kind of like, I remember I'm laying like this, and then I just kind of prop myself up on my elbows on my pillow, and I'm just like really like peering in there, like trying to see. And then the whispering stops, and then the mass that I saw in my closet just kind of takes another step in front of me. I let out a fucking scream that I'm pretty sure woke the damn neighbors. Like, I'm screaming so loud, and my mom bursts in, turns the light on, and she's just like, what the fuck? What? And like, I had a very happy childhood, as you can tell. My childhood was amazing. Oh my god. So, and y'all wonder why I'm an age regressor. Like, y'all wonder why. But anyway, so I'm just like looking at my mom, I'm crying, and all I can do is point at my closet. Like, that's all I can do. I'm freaking out. And my mom was just like, oh my god, Amberlee, you know what, fine, come into my fucking bed, but like, whatever. I didn't even care that she was cursing at me. I was just glad that she gave me the invitation to like go into her bed. So I'm crying, and my mom is very, very angrily comforting me. Like, she's still being a mother, but like, she's angry about it. Like, I'm over here crying, and she's just like, shh. Like, 1 minute she'd be like stroking my hair and just very lovingly, shh. And then finally it was a shh. Oh my god, you're fine. Oh, I didn't mean to scare you. That wasn't to you. That wasn't to you. It's okay. I would never do that to you.
What? Oh, hi. Can you feed yourself? Can you feed yourself? Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that my mom did that taught me how to parent in like don't do that type of way. Like, for example, I would never yell at him the way my mom did. My mom would yell so loud that it sounded like her vocal cords were going to burst. Like, you could hear the strain in her vocal cords. Like, she would scream at my brother and I, and she would just, like, you know how when somebody screams at you, you could hear, like, the crackling of their vocal cords? Like, how did her throat not hurt after that screaming at us? You know what I mean? Like, you could just hear the shredding of the vocal cords, like, really being strained. And I won't ever scream at him like that, like, ever. And I would seriously kill anybody that tries to yell at him like that. But, I mean, I might get firm. You know, like, I think firmness is okay. Like, if you told him, like, 3 times, and then you could look at him and be like, all right, I told you to stop, so if you don't stop, you're going to your room. Is that clear? Like, that should be necessary enough. Like, why is it necessary to, like, I say it? Like, I don't know. But anyway, we're getting off track here. This isn't about my mom. This isn't about her. And I don't want to attack her parenting skills either. I'm just, you know, everybody makes mistakes. And I was obviously a piece of work, but, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, so I'm not saying that my mom was abusive. I think she just had abusive tendencies from what she was shown growing up. I don't know. But anyway, I remember my first ever panic attack, and that was not fun at all. I genuinely thought I was going to die. So one night, I'm 12. I remember how old I was too, because we just got done celebrating my 12th birthday. And one night, my grandmother is over, and my grandmother will tell you just how exhausting I was that night. We were watching some, like, National Graphic TV show with, like, a tiger or something. I remember the tiger. And I was falling asleep on my mom's, like, lap. I don't know. I mean, she was laying like this on the long couch, and I just wanted some snuggles. I think I had something happen in my room. I can't remember what it was, but there was just a lot, so I can't remember if what I experienced was one particular night or the next. I don't remember anymore, but I remember something happened in my room, and I was scared, so I wanted some cuddles, and I'm laying in between her legs and, like, on her stomach, kind of, and I'm falling asleep, and I had a dream about the little girl, and it scared me, and I woke up feeling like I couldn't breathe, and it felt like my chest was tight, my lungs were about to explode, you know, like, my chest was burning. Hold on, let me get his binky. He dropped it. Okay. So, Riley. So, I felt like my chest is gonna explode. My chest was burning. You know how, like, the best way I could describe a panic attack to anybody that's never had one? Imagine running a mile. And you know how, like, your chest is tight and it's burning and you're after you run a mile? It felt like that. It feels like you're trying to catch your breath and you can't, you know? And, you know, it's like your thought process is running a mile a minute and you're just sitting there and it takes a toll on your body. That's the best way I could describe it. And my fingers were, like, tingling, my face was tingling, and the really bad panic attacks that I haven't had in years was my very first panic attack. And I'm freaking out. My heart is pounding out of my chest, and my mom gives me some water because I felt like I was running a mile. And normally water helps me after a panic attack or an anxiety attack. It helps me calm down faster. So I had a drink of water, and I felt like I had to take a breath after I drank the water. Like, I don't know. And my mom was getting frustrated with me because she didn't know what was wrong with me, you know? And my grandmother was like, Amberlee, you are 12 years old. You're not gonna die. You're just freaking out. You just want attention. Stop. So they basically told me that I was asking for attention. And I told them, I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I really feel like I'm gonna die. I need to go to the hospital. And my mom was about to take me to the hospital, but my brother kind of came out of his room. He was like, what's going on? And my mom was like, oh, hold on. What? He dropped his binky. What? So my brother kind of came out of his room. And he's like, what's going on? And my mom's like, we have to take her to the hospital. She can't breathe. And he was like, what do you mean she can't breathe? And they had a whole ass conversation. And then finally, my brother, my brother and I were kind of close when we were little. And then we fought a lot when we got older. And now we're getting close again. But I don't have a lot of good memories with my brother, but this is one of them. So I'm freaking out. I'm sitting on the living room floor, not being able to breathe. And he grabs my shoulders and he's like, Amberlee, look at me. Look at me. And I was like, what? And he was like, take a deep breath. Okay, now hold it. Okay, now let it out slowly. Like he was helping me, like he had experienced it before and never told anybody. So he helped me through it. He calmed me down. And he's like, okay, are you good now? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to my movie. And you're gonna go to sleep and you're still gonna be here when you wake up, okay? Okay. And then he goes back to his room. I watched the rest of the TV show and I went to bed and I woke up and I was fine. And I asked my brother, I was like, how did you know how to help me? He's like, I don't know. I just knew that you were freaking out for no damn reason and that you were fine. And my mom took me to the doctor to see what the hell was that the next day. And that's how I got diagnosed with anxiety. My doctor was like, it sounds like what she experienced was anxiety. And my mom was like, what? And he asked me what I was feeling, and I told him, and he's like, your daughter was having a panic attack. And my mom was like, I didn't even know that was a real thing. My doctor was like, yeah, that's a real thing. She had a panic attack. She has anxiety. And you don't yell at her when she's experiencing one. You don't yell at her. Like, he got onto her for that. He tore her a new asshole. He's like, she's not asking for attention when this happens. She feels like she's gonna die. So it's not common to see in kids, but you know, you need to take care of her when she's having that. So she did. And she started crying in their car. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay. So that wasn't necessarily a paranormal experience, but it did happen in the house. And I do genuinely feel like whatever was there was kind of taking a toll on that. And like making it happen. I don't know. Like breaking me down mentally. So finally, I'm 14. And my parents finally got a house. Like, they finally were able to rent a house. It seemed really, really promising. And I was just happy to get out of the apartment. I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, I was so fucking happy. And my mom was like, what do you think of this house? I was like, Mom, I really don't care if we just live in a one apartment bedroom. I really, really don't care if we live in a shack. I just want out of this apartment. I can't stay another night here. Like, I really want to get out. And she was like, okay. So we bought this really cute house that had the living room already painted green, and I remember the layout of this entire house. I drive by it all the time. Well, I don't drive by it, but we drive by it a lot. So that's when my dad divorced my mom, was when we were living in that house. I didn't see anything there, but I felt a presence. Like, nothing really happened, but I don't know. I mean, other than one night I was sleeping and my radio turned on and there were no batteries in it at the time. It just kind of clicked on and started playing. So I was like, fuck, no, not again. Like, you know. And then my brother one night just kind of woke me up. He's like, Amberlee. And I was like, yeah. But to this day, he will not admit this, but my mom can actually vouch for this. Like, he was just like, hey, Amberlee. And I was like, what? And he's like, can I sleep in here? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was trying to talk to him. I was like, did you see anything? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to go to sleep. Okay. So we went to sleep, and the next day at school, he's like, hey, Amberlee. And I was like, what? He's like, you remember the last house when you kept seeing things? And we all told you that you were freaking out? And I said, yeah. And he's like, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. My brother has never, ever apologized for anything. Even when we were kids, he refused to apologize. You know, he would nut check somebody and then everybody would be like, Sean, apologize.
No.
Like, he would never apologize for anything. And that was the first and only time he has ever apologized to me. And I was like, what did you see last night? And he told me that he saw a man staring at him and telling him that this was his room and he needs to get out. And I was like, well, were you dreaming? He was like, oh no, I wasn't even asleep. I wasn't even close to falling asleep. I just went to bed and this happened. And I was like, oh shit, okay. So I told him that I accepted his apology, and he said that we were never to talk about it again, and I said, okay. We never talked about it again. My brother also was a sleepwalker for the longest time, us growing up. I don't know if he still sleepwalks, but I've started sleepwalking, so that's fun. I remember one night he was just kind of standing in my doorway, and I was like, Sean, are you scared again? You can come in. And then I realized, oh fuck, he's sleepwalking. This is creepy to witness. He was just standing there and like whispering. I didn't even understand what he was saying. I was like, what? Like, what are you saying? And he just kind of looked up at me, and he's still whispering. And it reminded me of the apartment when I heard it from my closet, and it scared the hell out of me. I just kind of sat there staring at him, scared that he was going to run up and attack me or something, I don't know. But I just stared at him, and I was like, Sean, are you okay? Like, go back to bed, you're sleepwalking. Like, you're good, you know? And he just like kind of walked up to me, and he gets this close to my face, and his eyes are wide open because he's sleepwalking. When somebody's sleepwalking, it looks like they're awake, but they're not. And it's very creepy. But he got this close to my face, and he's still like, I can't even understand him. And then I was like, Sean, what? And he was like, they're gonna kill you. And then he just turns around, walks back to his bed, and then I haven't heard from him the rest of the night. What the fuck? What? How do you react to somebody sleepwalking and then they whisper in your face, they're going to kill you? I told my mom about it. She started laughing. She was like, he was sleepwalking, Amberlee. You probably had a fucked up nightmare. Like, it's fine. And I told Sean about it the next day. I was like, do you want to kill me? And he, what? I mean, sometimes, but not right now. Why? What's wrong? And he was like, and I just told him what happened, and he was like, I don't remember any of that. And I was like, oh, okay. And at the time, I just thought, okay, he was sleepwalking. It's a little fucked up, but I'm just being paranoid because of the last apartment. I did some research on the last apartment, and I also did some research on the little girl right after we moved out. And what I found, you will not believe what happened. That apartment, 5 years before we moved in, was burned to the ground and then rebuilt. That apartment had a family of 4 living there with a little girl, her dad, and her mom, and her little baby brother. And turns out that apartment was from arson. and they still can't find out who did it, but somebody just decided, I'm gonna burn that apartment down, and they did. And they killed everybody inside it. They killed the baby, they killed the mom, they killed the dad, they killed the little girl. And I believe that the apartment was haunted by that family. I think the little girl was the one who I'd seen the most, probably happy that she met a new friend and was just trying to make friends with me. I think the parents were very angry that they were dead, and they were trying to, like, scare me into moving out or something, I don't know. But either way, I haven't heard from that family since we moved out, but I do remember that every time we used to drive by, because we lived in Phoenix for a while, and every time we drove by to get the rest of our stuff or something, I never got out of the car. My parents were the ones that brought my stuff back to the apartment. They were like, Amberlee, come on, get your stuff. No, I'm sitting right here. I refuse to go back in there. But I always felt this, like, I want to go. I really want my parents to hurry the fuck up, get in the car, and drive. Like, I just want to go home. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I always felt that, impending doom about just staying there. Like, I really wanted to just leave. So, the experiences stopped until I was about 15. So for about a year, there was quiet. My brother slept walked that one night and didn't hear anything until I was 15. Parents already divorced, and we moved into this house, this very house that I am sitting right now talking to y'all. And I think I spoke a little bit about this before, but I really feel like I have a demon following me now from when I was 15. It's been a very long 5 years, I will tell you that. So, we celebrate my 15th birthday here, and, everything was fine. But when we moved in, and I was unpacking. I had my nail polish on a dresser, and my nail polish goes flying at me as soon as I put everything down. Are you talking?
Are you singing your sleepy song? Are you singing your sleepy song? You singing your sleepy song? You singing the sleepy song? Yeah.
Okay, so, oh fuck, my head is killing me. So, yeah, my nail polish goes flying at me, and I'm like, I kind of said out loud, really? Like, I don't have time for this. I'm trying to unpack so that I can go to school tomorrow at my new high school. So I went to Post and Butte for about a year. I spent my entire freshman year at Post on Ass. And, so I'm in Post and Butte High School, Post on Ass, and I met my friend Hannah, who is actually Hans now, respect to Hans, and I am telling her about all of this stuff that I've been experiencing, like, everything here is hardwood now. There is no carpet, except the stairs. That's the only place that has carpet on it, is the stairs. So, when you're walking on tile, you can hear your footsteps. And I would always hear somebody walking behind me. And I would always feel somebody behind me. And then I would turn around and look, and there's nobody there. And I think what freaked me out the most is one time I heard a dog walking behind me, and at the time, I didn't have a dog or a cat. It was only humans here. No cats, no dogs. But I swear, I heard an animal walking behind me one day, and it scared the living shit out of me. I was like, why is whatever following me having claws? And I told Hannah about that. I'm saying Hannah because at the time it was Hannah. But if that's respectful, let me know. If that's disrespectful, let me know and I'll stop. But so I'm telling Hannah about it, and she was like, shit. I'm gonna actually say Hans and use he pronouns because even though in the past it was a girl, it wasn't a girl. So Hans, I'm speaking to him and I'm like, hey, I know that you dabble in all things paranormal and I need to ask your advice on something. So he was like, you know what, I'll tell you what, I'll come over and we'll settle this, but right now I have to get back to class, so here's my number. You just call me after school and we'll discuss everything and I'll think about what it could be. And I said, okay, cool. So we get home, I call him, and I'm telling him about everything, and then he makes a joke, which you should never do. And everything that I did in the story, take it as things you should not do if you think that you have a ghost, okay? So Hans was like, dude, you see somebody, you change, and somebody sees you bare-ass naked, and you don't even know. Ah ha ha, you can't even see them. And my phone immediately shuts up. As soon as I start laughing, my phone shuts off. And it was at 100%. It was fully charged when I talked to him. And it just shut off completely. It would never turn on. I even put it on the charger, and it didn't even show me the charging symbol. It just shut off completely. It died. And I was like, okay, that was weird. Went to school the next morning, told him about it. He was like, dude, I tried calling you like 8 times, man, come on. And I was like, I'm sorry, like, my phone shut off completely after I told you. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I told him about it, and he was just like, that's interesting. Now I'm really excited to come over. And I feel like his mistake was he kind of took it as an opportunity to, make a joke about it. Like he looked at it as a beautiful moment in our friendship. Like, you should not do that. You should take it seriously, and he did not. And I thought at the time that I was speaking to an expert or something. So everything he was doing, I thought it was okay to do as well. So he comes over to my house, and we do an EVP session on my phone. We download the Ouija board app, we download the voice recording app, which, don't do that. If you want to hear what they have to talk to you about, get a paranormal investigator. Don't invite it in with those technologies, because you give it an opportunity to come into your life. So he tells me the rules of the Ouija board. He says, don't play with it alone. Don't ask, don't forget to say goodbye. If they don't let you say goodbye, you still have to force the planchette down to the word goodbye. No matter how scared you are, do not exit the app without saying goodbye. And the same thing goes for the board. Don't end the session without saying goodbye. And I said, okay. So, we went to this app on my phone. We opened it. And what's terrifying is the room that I had at the time was converted into my little brother Ben's room. And my brother, after this happened, I'm getting ahead of myself, hold on. So I'm asking it questions like, what is your name? And it said Edward. And the first thing that it said after I opened the app was, I said, is there any spirits that would like to speak to us? And it responded with, fuck off. So I was like, okay then, alright. So I was like, and then Hans was like, maybe we shouldn't do this. It sounds like a very angry spirit. But I interrupted him. I was like, no, I want answers. I want to know what is doing this to me. So, no. So we kept asking it questions. I asked it what its name was. It said Edward. And then I asked how it died. I asked how he died, and that's also something that you should never do because, as you can imagine, death is traumatic, and a lot of spirits don't want to talk about it, and it can make a lot of them very angry. And I did not know this. I said, "How did you die?" And it said, "Fuck you, get out, get out." Like, before I could answer any questions or ask any questions, the voice that kept coming on the app was just "get out, get out, get out," over and over again, saying it in a very angry voice. And the more it said "get out," the more demonic it sounded. So Hans and I obviously forget to say goodbye, and we throw the phone down on the bed and we just run out screaming like a bunch of scared schoolgirls. And then I come back from my phone. I was like, "Oh fuck, we forgot to say goodbye." So Hans and I burst upstairs and we burst into my room, and the app is completely closed and deleted off my phone. So I just kind of stood in my room saying goodbye, 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 hoping that it would hear me. I was just like, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And yeah, it did not take that very well. I tried opening the Ouija board app, and it kept spelling out on the phone, "get out, get out, get out, get out," over and over again. Like the little planchette was like going crazy, spelling "get out, get out, get out." So I guided the planchette to the word goodbye, and I closed it out, and that was that. And I deleted the app off my phone, and I never tried speaking to it until Hans left. Hans was like, "Look, don't open the app until I come back and we'll talk to it." And I said, "Okay." But Amberlee doesn't listen to anybody. Amberlee never listens to anybody. That's why I am a brat in subdom. That's why I'm a brat. I don't listen to anybody. So even if my life hangs in the balance, I'm still like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna go do this anyway." Oh shit, now I know why you said that. Yeah, that's Amberlee. Amberlee doesn't listen to anything. So yeah, he was like, "Don't open the apps until I get back." Okay, cool. But curiosity was eating at me. I was like, what's gonna happen if I go back up there right now and talk to him? Maybe if I say stuff in a nicer tone of voice and I don't come in there so hostile or laughing at it, maybe he'll be nice. So I go upstairs, I open the app again, like I download it again and I open it again, and I'm saying, "Hey, I understand that I'm in your space and you're very angry at me, and I am sorry. I would like to get to know you a little more and try to be roommates because obviously you're not willing to leave." And it said, "Just want to talk." And I was like, "Oh, you just want to speak. You just want to communicate. That's fine. Well, I have to delete this app off my phone because it's taking up storage. So how else would you like to communicate?" And it said, "Dreams? Question mark. And my dumb ass, "Sure, appear in my dreams." And then I said goodbye and I ended the session and I deleted it off my phone, and that night I had a dream. And this dream was terrifying. This dream, what I said about how the people died was a foreshadow. I had a dream one night that I was walking home from school and there was a house on fire, and I heard burning, I heard screaming, I heard a baby crying, I heard a dog barking. It was very graphic. It was like I'm standing there and watching this fire happen as I'm on my way home from school. And I wake up in a cold sweat. I'm crying because this was horrible. And I feel like I'm not alone. And I look over and there's this 7-foot figure by my door just kind of staring at me. And I was like, "Is that how you died?" So it just kind of gets angry. Like the mood changes. It went from a calm presence staring at me to like, I don't feel safe anymore. As soon as I said, "Is that how you died?" the energy shifted. And like, I have really bad foot and mouth syndrome, as you can tell. I said that, and I did not feel okay on my own anymore. At all. So, because as soon as I said that and the energy shifted, we have a bug zapper, and I hate talking about this because every little noise freaks me out. But, like right now, actually, I don't feel alone. Like, I feel like it's not just me and Riley right now, and it's terrifying, but, I made a promise to y'all, and I'm a person of my word for the most part, so, yeah. So, I had that dream, said what I said, and the energy shifted, and, it just kind of scared me at that point. And I was never able to sleep soundly for the rest of my teenage years. From that one sentence, that one question, is that how you died? I have never been able to sleep for the last, 5 years now. And now it's because of the baby, but it was horrible. So, and the reason why I say that is because I remember one night I'm sleeping and I feel like a hand on my waist, and I go to kind of crawl my fingers over to it, and I feel this very cold, to the touch hand on my waist. You could feel the fingers, you could feel the skin. It was cold. So obviously I scream at the top of my lungs, and once I do, I hear growling next to me, very angry growling, like it didn't want me to alert anybody about what was going on. So I'm freaking out at this point, and I go to my grandmother's room, and I'm just like I burst into her door, and she sits up, and she's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Hey, can I sleep here?" And she's just like, "I guess. I mean, okay." And I told her about what happened, and she's like, "You were just dreaming." I was like, "No, I wasn't." As soon as this happened, I burst in here to come sleep with you. And she, unlike my mother, was very comforting. She stroked my hair, she helped me in that moment in time. Fuck, my phone's at 5%. Hold on. Oh my god, I have a fucking migraine, so I need to hurry up with this video and go to bed. But,
Nothing, just chilling. Like a villain.
Put this in full screen. My hair looks like I haven't showered, but I promise I have. Okay, so, for years, this thing would torment me, and just, it was horrifying. Every night was something new, and I remember one night I would have this reoccurring dream after this night where I call him the tap dancing man, because in my dream I'm always walking down that long corridor upstairs that you guys see in my videos, with all the rooms in it, and I would be walking to the bathroom or something, and I would see this man, 7 foot tall, lanky dude with a cane, tap dance shoes, and a top hat. And he would have this really long smile that stretched from right here. And he would have this laugh, and I would be very scared of him. And he would tap dance, and he'd move the cane like this as he's tap dancing. And I would be freaked out, obviously. And I go to the bathroom or go to wherever to get away from him, and I could hear him tap dancing after me. I could hear the tap dance shoes, and I always turn around and he's tap dancing with the cane, and he's still smiling and laughing. And I run into him, and every time I run into him, he just smiles that smile, and he'll always say, and laugh maniacally, like tilt his head back and cackle. And I would always run, and I would run into a wall and fall through the ceiling into my bed and wake up like, and then it'd be the next day and time to go to school. And I haven't gotten a restful sleep from the time I was 15 all the way up until I was about to leave for Job Corps, because every night I would have the same dream. And Job Corps was a paranormal experience all in itself, but not from the same demon that I was seeing. And something just told me that it wasn't the ghost of an old man anymore. Like, because every time I was about to have that dream, I would know I was about to have that dream, because I would always see that 7-foot figure by my door, and then I would fall asleep and have that dream. And one night, I spoke to my grandmother about it, and she was like, look, if you tell him that you're not scared of him and that you're gonna wake up, he'll stop bothering you. And I said, okay, have you seen this man? And she said, no comment, just tell him that. Try that. I said, okay. Went to bed, had that same nightmare, and one night I stopped running from him, and I looked at him and said, you're not real, I'm gonna wake up. And he did that, tilting his head back and cackling, and he said, if this is just a dream, then why can't you wake up? And I was like, but I can. And he said, but you can't. But I can. But you can't. Are you gonna run? And like mocking the fact that I was scared of him. So ow. Oh, tell me you have bad teeth without telling me you have bad teeth. Anyway, so yeah, so I woke up, same shit, felt like I was falling, woke up because I felt like I was falling, and it was time to go to school. So went to school, looking like shit, feeling like shit, getting bullied, you know, going home feeling like shit still, emotionally worn out from being bullied, and then doing my homework and eating dinner, going to bed, having the same dream. And it was this never-ending cycle. And not to mention the weekends where I couldn't even go to school to escape. So then one night when I heard about Job Corps, I was so excited to get out of the house and get away from the demon and, you know, whatever. I went to school, met the person that ruined my life that I thought was going to make better, and he did not. He ruined me and broke me. So I was head over heels with him, and I was so happy to be with him. And met his friends, and I was happy to be friends with them, let him meet my friends, and then found out that he liked my friends in that way, so I had to drop them so that he would stop talking to them. And yeah, anyway, Job Corps, we had our dorms, you know, and that's where we were staying at. And one night I was taking a shower, and I thought I heard my roommate talking to me. she was like, hey, I'm sorry if you're in the shower. I was just going to grab some clothes and then go hang out at the SAC Center. And I said, okay, yeah, you guys have fun. And I started talking to her, and I just had this whole ass conversation with her. And then I heard the keypad beep, like somebody was about to enter the room. It became unlocked. I heard the click that it was unlocked. And then somebody walked in. And I was like, oh, hey, are you back? And she's like, what do you mean, am I back? I haven't came in here since this morning when I left for school. I haven't been here all day. And I was like, but I just had a conversation with you. And she was like, what? When? I was like, 10 minutes ago. I just got out of the shower and you said that you were going to the SAC Center. And she just turned whiter than a sheet. And she said, oh my God, you've heard her too. And I said, what? And she told me that there was a little girl that there was this woman that came in, and I said the little girl because I'm getting there. There's a little girl in here too, but she was like, there's this woman that comes in here and talks to us and pretends to be us. And I was like, what? That's so weird. So I just kind of shrugged it off, and I was just like, you know what, Angelina, I'm sure it's nothing, you know. And then one day I had a fight with Nathaniel, and I came into my dorm room pissed as hell. And then he was texting me. He's like, baby, I'm sorry, come back to the SAC Center. I promise I won't talk to her anymore. And I messaged back, you're an asshole. I can't believe you would do that to me. And basically what the rundown of what happened was, my friend was saying that, you know, like she was just talking to me, and she said, is that your boyfriend over there? He's really cute. And my boyfriend said, thanks. And winked at her and said, you're cute too. And I flipped out, you know, because he was flirting with her right in front of me. So he was like, I'm sorry, babe, it won't happen again. I was just being Nathaniel. I was just being my, you know, Southern people flirt with people, you know, like, which I lived in Texas for about 7 months when I was with him. And yeah, that's not true. So he was making excuses about where he was from. So I was like, I don't care. You know that you have a girlfriend. And if you don't want a girlfriend anymore, please let me know. And then he called me. He's like, what makes you think I don't want a girlfriend anymore? And I was like, because you're acting like you don't have one. You know? And I'm on the phone with him yelling at him. And, you know, I'm telling you the conversation because it's important for the story. So, you know, I was like, if you don't want a girlfriend anymore, please let me know and I'll gladly do you that favor. And he was like, what the hell do you mean? And I was like, because you're acting like you don't have a girlfriend. So, do you have a girlfriend or don't you? Yes, babe, I do. As long as you want to be my girlfriend, then yes, you do have one. You do have a boyfriend. And I was like, okay, well, I do want to be your girlfriend. You do make me happy, but I'm also tired of feeling like you want somebody else. And he was like, oh my God, babe, I don't want anybody else. Come down to the SAC Center, and I'll hug you, and I'll love on you, and we'll talk about it. Okay, fine. And he sucked me back in with all the sweetness and the, you know, I love you, I'm sorry, the fake tears. He was crying over the phone. Well, crying. He gave me the fake tears and the, I'm sorry, baby, please don't break up with me, blah, 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 blah. So I brushed my hair, and I was getting ready to go back to meet him. And, hi. And as I'm brushing my hair, I could hear whispering from my bed all the way down at the end of the room. I hear my bed. I hear the whispers by my bed. And I heard something like bad boyfriend, pretty girl, you know, something like that. Like it sounded like you were tuning a radio station. Yeah. You know, like the thing that old people use where like, yeah. So, and it sounds like the radio is coming in and out and people are talking, but you can't really make out what they're saying, but you can make out a couple words. Yeah. So, that's what I heard. Bad boyfriend, beautiful girl, and it freaked me out. So, Anyway, I go out to meet him, come back at curfew. I'm happier than ever. We made up. Everything's working out. I'm so happy. I'm singing. I have my boyfriend, and I was love bombed like crazy. And I felt so happy about it because I didn't know that it was love bombing. I felt like we were in love. And, couples fight. We made up. Everything's happy. It's fine. So I come back in the room and Bethany is staring at me, and she was the room leader, and she's like burning into my soul with her eyes. And I was like, what's wrong? She's like, how could you say that about me? And I was like, what do you mean? And she said that apparently I burst into the room when she was in the shower. I burst into the room and I was like on the phone and I was saying like, Bethany is such a bitch. She's this, she's that. She's such a horrible person. I don't understand, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I never said that. I was outside. I was at the SAC Center. And the SAC Center, for those of you that don't know, is a place where it's like a big entertainment center. They have gaming consoles, they have a game room, they have a computer game room, they have a theater in there, they have pool tables, they have badminton, they have board games, they have all kinds of stuff. They have movies. And it was where everybody hung out. So I was like, I just got back from the SAC Center. I've been there since like 6:30. What do you mean? I had dinner, came back because I had a fight with Nate, and then I went back to meet him at around 7. And she's like, so then why did I just hear you in here 10 minutes ago? And then I told her what I had experienced that day. And then Angela told us that she had a conversation with our other bedmate, Jackie, and that turns out Jackie just walked in after Jackie left. So we went to our RA about it, and our RA was like, I'm sure it's nothing, I'm sure you guys are just stressed from school, like, it's fine. Turns out the Job Corps used to be a military base, and they had like it had everything. It had a little cemetery, it had the SAC Center, used to be where it was like the training center, and the theater like that was in there, that used to be, I can't even remember what that used to be, but D-dorm used to be the hospital, like the medical center, and a lot of people from D-dorm were saying that they saw a nurse that would go into the rooms and look at everybody, and it was the nurse that was checking on the patients. And E-dorm was like the newer hospital that they had built on, and it was like a little housing hospital where it was just kind of like extra beds and all that. And A-dorm was where they did the autopsies. And that Job Corps used to be so much bigger. It had dorms from A all the way to Z. And when I got there, it was just dorms from A to E. And the reason why they did that was because people, supposedly, there was a story where there's demons at Job Corps too, because apparently they say no Ouija boards in the little pamphlet, in like the welcome pamphlet about the rules and all that. They say you cannot bring Ouija boards. They actually have to say that because people used to go into dorm Z and do seances with an Ouija board. And one night the RAs came to check everybody and all that, and make sure that they were about to go to class and, be responsible. And they found an Ouija board, a pentagram with dead animals' blood, with dead animals laying all around, and 4 students sleeping like nothing just happened. And so, yeah, they had to tear down Z dorm because everybody was saying that they kept waking up with scratches in their sleep. And so Z dorm was taken and demolished, and then it moved to Y dorm, and then W dorm, and then X dorm. And so they had to take out a lot of freaking dorms because people were having a hard time sleeping, and it was making a lot of people self-term. It was making a lot of people just give up and go home because of how bad it was. So, yeah. So then COVID hit, and we had to go home. And then we were long distance, and then my demon came back. And this time with a vengeance. This demon would actually start scratching me now. And now he would scratch me. And then the tap dancing man was back. And it was just not fun at all. And then I got kicked out on family vacation. And then Nathaniel came back into my life. And then we got pregnant with him. And we moved back here for a little bit. And one day, Nathaniel just kind of sits up in bed and he's like trembling a little bit. And at the time I felt bad, but now I don't. Because this thing had got to him too. So he wakes up one night, whiter than a sheet. He's trembling, he's freaking out, he's panting, he can't breathe. And it wakes me up. I'm like, babe, what's wrong? Are you okay? And he's like, and he told me about this dream with the tap dancer. And I was like, oh my God. And I told him about the dream that I've been having. And he's like, and you didn't think that was good information to tell me? I was like, I didn't want you to think I was crazy. But yeah, the tap dancer freaked him out too. And then we left and went to Lindsay's, and both of our experiences stopped. But, yeah. And then I had to come back here while I was pregnant with him. And this is where it gets trippy. Like, after Nathaniel left me, I was heartbroken, as anyone would expect. So, I remember one night, this was the first spell that I ever did. After I did it, I took a shower. And I was washing my hair, and I had my eyes closed. And while I had my eyes closed, I envisioned Nathaniel naked in the shower with me, like we used to do. And his eyes were like red. And hold on. Okay, so yeah, his eyes were red, and he was like, I can get him back for you. All you have to do me is one small favor. In that tone of voice, like, and I was just like, I know who you are. I don't want anything from you. He's probably gonna come back on his own. Just leave me alone. And he just kind of smiled, and he was like, okay. And I opened my eyes, and he was gone. And that night, I went to bed. 3 a.m. rolls around, and I open my eyes, and I see Nathaniel walk in my room. And I realize that it's not him. And at the time, he had just gotten hit by a truck. And karma, but that's a side note. So he's walking perfectly fine, which I already know he would not be doing if that was actually him. He'd probably be like wheeling in there, which would really suck, but anyway. So, he just walks in there perfectly fine, and he's just like, baby, let me hold you. Come here, I want to love on you. And I'm crying. I'm like, you're not him, stop. Like, and then he was like, baby, are you scared of me? And he sits on the bed, and he's like crying. And I was like, you're not him, so who the hell are you? And he just kind of stands up and smiles, and he's just like, I really, really want to help you. Imagine the life that you can have with him. You guys can get old together. You're gonna have new kids. You're gonna have more kids. You're gonna have such a beautiful life with him. All you have to do is shake my hand. And I'm like, I'm not gonna shake your hand. Like, you're not real. Leave me alone. And he's like, come on, just shake my hand. And he's like getting mad. He's getting annoyed. He's like, shake my hand. No. So then 2 months go by. I have the baby. And Nathaniel comes back on his own, which I already knew he would. Then he leaves me 2 months later because that's Nathaniel, you know. So, I see the demon again, and every night he asks me to shake his hand, and he's getting more and more persuasive, and I don't know what he wants in return. I've asked him if he wants my firstborn, he said no. I've asked him if he wants my soul, he said no. And I was like, I know what you do, and I know that I could shake your hand and have this beautiful life with him, but there's always a catch. You know, like, what if you decide to change the deal and then you make him leave, but then I'm forever binded to you, even though I didn't fully get what I wanted, you know? Or what happens if he cheats on me and I'm in a very, very unhappy relationship, but he stays, so... Or what if he dies a year later and I don't get to enjoy him? You know, like, anything could go wrong with that, but he's getting more and more persuasive, and I honestly don't know how much longer I could say no. Because I do miss Nathaniel a lot, no matter how much he put me through, and no matter how much he pisses me off to this day, it still bothers me that he's with someone else and it's not me. And I feel like I will never be fully happy until he comes back. And this thing wants me to make a deal with him, and he said that all I have to do is shake his hand and I'll wake up and we'll be together again. But I don't want to say yes because I don't know what the deal is, you know, and it's getting harder and harder to say no, though. Because every night he gives me a vision of what life could be like. He gives me a memory of when we were happy. And then tells me to just think about it, and then he walks out. And then after he leaves, I regret my decision of saying no. I don't know. So if you guys could give me some advice on how to say no, or at least give me an idea of what would happen if I said yes, that would be great. Also, leave your comments below about any paranormal experiences that you guys have had, because I'm interested in knowing that I'm not crazy. And I appreciate you guys staying for an hour-long and 17-minute video. Anyways, I'm going to get something to eat because I'm a fat ass, and I'm going to get him to sleep. I love you. I'll see you all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications so that you guys know when I post. And I will see you guys later. Bye.